Culture Podcast with Alaska, Curly Castro, and Zilla Rock.
Welcome back, episode 101 with
You're not going to be
PremRock.
doing that before
101.
Yeah, 101, hun. Yo,
trying to date us or something.
call out fucking culture. I'm your host, Zilla Rock. I'm extremely tired and drinking Bob Dylan branded whiskey. Was like, he's not rich enough. He needs to license his name to whiskey companies. So then dads get shit like this on Father's Day. Shouts to that. You know what's
like
funny?
Bob Dylan.
You know what's funny about my life? Maybe you guys can relate to this as a rapper. Curly Castro's here, Alaska's here, PremRock's here. Do you ever deal with that thing in your life where we're all in this show and we're all friends because every day we think about rap, listen to rap, create rap, talk about rap, text and tweet about rap. But there's people in your family that are like, oh no, you like the Rolling Stones. No, you like Bob Marley. You like, I don't know, Paul Abdul. Like they just kind of sidestep your lifelong obsession and pursuit and activities because you also had a nice run in your life with another genre of music. Does that affect anyone else except me?
No, not as much as like them hyper trivializing my.
Oh, shouts to that. I like that.
Where it's like, you like hip hop? What do you think of? And it's just like, the worst thing ever. Or,
No, my mom just thinks I should be making all the moves. Oh, you should have whispered on a song. You see what Snoop Dogg is doing? Why aren't you
She's
doing
got
that?
advice. She's got advice.
That's all my mom says. Is like super highly successful people since their teenage years. I should have been doing that.
Yeah, my mom told me to just make one hit and then I don't have to do anything else. Why don't I think like that?
Right.
Just one hit. And then she's like, one hit wonders, they have it all figured out. They made one song and then now they're rich. And I'm like, cool.
Just like that. And they're all rich right now. Still.
Yeah, they're all still
And the
rich.
irony is we are all trying to make one damn hit every damn day. Yeah,
When you
I
try to
am.
make hits.
Oh, yes,
Wasting
I
all
am.
this time on
When?
albums.
Anytime any
When are you
chance
trying
I
to make
can get.
hits?
That's just, I mean,
I don't think you're trying to make
it's
it.
it's in futility, but yeah, we're all trying to make a damn hit.
Nah.
Who's not trying to make a hit?
We're indie for a reason, bro.
No, I don't
Who's
think
not
you're-
trying
I
to
don't-
make a good song?
No.
know,
A good song and a hit is
good
separate.
song. Yeah, very different.
That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
but
What do you mean
a
by that?
good-
I'm sorry.
I mean, we're all trying to make very good songs, not just good
Sure.
songs anymore.
Sure,
And
you want to
very
have
good songs,
and the definition
Very
of
good
hit,
songs.
A hit is friggin' bust a
can
move.
become a hit.
right? But
Very
the
good
definition of
songs can
hit
become
is
a hit.
relative. If you want a song that everyone in our orbit is like, that's a definitive banger from Castro.
That's what I'm not saying we're out making.
Are
Trying to make
you
a
trying to
pop
get on Hot
song every day.
97 or
Right.
all that other?
I'm not saying we're trying to make pop songs every day.
That's what I'm
trying
talking
to say.
about.
We're trying to make very good songs.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good
yeah.
songs can be hit songs.
Yeah,
I didn't
well,
say pop.
well, that's how when I say hit, I mean pop. I apologize.
Oh.
That's neither here nor there. A man with a lot of great songs is PremRock. Load bearing crow's feet.
Couple
He's out
hits, couple hits
Couple
in
hits.
the chamber. You just haven't heard him yet.
here. Yo,
guys.
man. Yo, you got producers shook out here with this Prairie Barn shit. Bro. Shook. Shook.
It's amazing.
Let's talk about PremRock, the hit producer.
All right, let's properly introduce. Jesus
You've been on the
Christ.
show like 7 times. People don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
think
I mean,
PremRock's
PremRock's
on the
I
show
think
tonight. We
we're
are
on-
here. Excuse me.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
guys.
fourth member
PremRock's
of
on
the
the show
show.
tonight. We're here to talk about his wonderful release, Load Bearing Crow's Feet. Okay, we can say the title of the record we
I
talking
just
about.
did. I literally
No,
just did.
I don't know. You
I just
mumble
did.
it.
You
I don't
cut
know
me
what you're
off
doing.
as I said
You-
low berry crow's
No,
feet.
I don't know
He's
what
one of the
you're
best producers in the
I
world.
don't know what you're doing. You're talking about production. We're talking about the whole album.
From the album Low Berries, available on Backwood Studios,
Now you
Yeah.
want
LLC.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Now you got it. You got it, partner.
I got
Go
it,
ahead, take
baby.
the
I'm
torch.
rolling.
What
Yeah.
you
Yo,
talking
yo,
about?
you know what line I just caught randomly? This is totally off topic. On Stove God Cooks on the Pete Rosenberg album, he says.
Why are we talking about
says-
that?
He says.
Yo, man,
he
no,
says-
no,
wait, let
I
me
don't
just
wanna
say
hear
it.
about no fucking
He-
Stove God Cooks.
he
Are you
says-
kidding me?
Because
We're
everyone
talking
enjoys
about PremRock's album.
it.
This is the 15th topic you
At
brought
this
up, and that's
point,
nothing to
at
do
this
with
point,
it.
I want to
God,
hear
so-
the line. I want to hear the line.
Stove God says, "My mic different. I'm Bob Barker." This is with that skinny ass mic. Alaska's clapping.
Yeah.
He's chuckling like a hobo eating a can of beans. Look at him.
That's a fantastic line.
That's a
Yeah.
wonderful line. Anyway, sorry, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
PremRock's here. A wonderful album. Castro's right. Half a shrapnel, 1/4 of Wrecking Crew. What was your first rap crew called, by the way?
Oh, Central Intelligence.
Yes, Central
Yeah.
Intelligence. Alaska, what was your pre-Adams first rap crew?
Wrecking Crew. No, but it was really called Wrecking Crew. It was like me and my boys. We
Oh.
call ourselves Wrecking Crew.
Oh shit.
Full
Castro,
circle.
what was your first rap crew?
My first rap group that I was in.
Yeah.
Crew, like the crew you were
Yeah.
affiliated with.
I was in a rap group to start, but what do you mean? Which one
What's
you
the name?
talking
What's the
about?
name of
whatever
it?
one.
What's the name of it?
Oh.
first?
Nemesis.
Nemesis. Word.
Shut up.
And
Just
my
shut up and move
my-
on.
You want to know what mine was?
Shut up.
Yeah. What was yours? No. It was what's yours?
It was
Watch this.
divine evil.
Oh shit.
You're doing hardcore, weren't you?
I mean,
Divine Evil.
yo, I
You were-
a lot
you were
of-
definitely trying to make
what
it
the
onto the
hell did the
gathering.
evil have to do with anything?
We
Seriously.
were divine, but we were
yeah,
also
divine evil. I mean,
Hello.
you
Oh,
know,
with two sides of the coin.
Yeah,
One-
it's
one-
balance.
Wow.
one tattered
Bro-
copy of Behold a Pale Horse between the.
I didn't even know what that
Between the three
was.
of them.
I was just
You
I
were
was just
real
in Catholic
influenced
school.
by the Flatlanders.
So what
Live
was the
Evil.
divine then? What was the divine?
You're so live evil.
Just
live
chosen?
evil.
Well, live evil is.
I
Live
love
Evil,
that
right?
video. When the
Yeah.
guy jumps off the
Shouts to
wall
Flatliners.
and then the other guy hangs himself, I said, this is amazing. I was just
What
like,
about dude rapping out of the grave? Russell Simmons.
because at the
rapping out
end of
the grave.
everybody's first
Oh,
verse,
man.
they kill themselves. Now
Yes.
afterwards, I think they all come
Right.
back like being half dead. But that was that was Russell, right? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
amazing.
is
That
that the
was
worst case of
amazing.
nepotism in music industry
That was
history?
an amazing that got shot because they
I
shot
don't know if
those-
it's the
those are
worst
sets.
case.
Those
It's
are
pretty
sets.
bad.
At least it's
Those are
memorable.
sets.
Mm.
I'll
Mm.
never forget that happened. Those like when he jumped off the and he hung himself. That's a set. Like they had a like fake tree and the wall,
Oh
and then
my
the guy
God.
jumped off that wall. I said, "What the hell?"
I
is
like how
going on here?"
Russell Simmons' nephew walked in the office at Def Jam one day. It's like, Uncle Russ, have you ever heard of grave diggers? He was like, no, fuck that. He's like, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, for you.
We shall get a deal as
Perfect.
Flatliners.
Somebody was online talking about Gravediggers came out before Woo and all that.
me and Mighty Healthy. We were
That was weird.
Shouts to Mighty Healthy. He was
I
on
know.
my
I'm
IG live last night.
big ups to him, but I thought that was
He's
weird
dope.
because there was
He's a
no way
younger
for that
guy.
to happen.
Yeah,
No, I
he's a
know, but there was
younger
no
guy.
way for that to happen because
He's doing the
RZA,
knowledge.
Woo was RZA's. Like he was
Right.
in a group. Like that was, he was doing
But
that
he
part
made
time.
he made 6 Feet Deep before 36 Chambers, but then 6 Feet Deep came out, and then 36 Chambers hit it was perfect timing for Gravediggers.
But my point
It
is-
was like a year apart.
Yeah, and my point is
No,
the group,
no.
the one he cared about
Dude, it was
was
like a
Woo.
year apart.
It was.
What year
man.
was Gravediggers? Was 94?
Yeah,
Because he
like,
started the Gravediggers album way before 36 came out, way before, and then they kind of just
But-
sat there for a year trying to get signed. It didn't happen.
My youngest brother, Ghost Bongo, found it in my CD-ROM in my computer when he was like really young, like 6.
Oh,
And he
game.
put it-
That's a
and he-
life changing.
Yeah, he put it
bro.
on and he was like, he thought it was awesome.
Dude.
like,
that
the
that
blood
changed my
splatter
life.
on the
I
CD.
heard it. Yeah,
He wasn't
I
like
heard
a big hip hop dude. He was into punk. Like his
Oh.
first love was punk. So he was like, that was a really. I didn't know rap could sound like
But
that.
that's why Flatliners to me was whatever, because when I think of Gravediggers, I thought of their contemporary was 3-6. I wasn't putting them with
Nah,
other
they were
like
way before them, weren't they?
that was my parallel to them.
Oh,
I didn't like 3-6 Mafia growing up because my best friend was huge Bone Thugs fan.
Ah,
So I kind of rode with Bone Thugs and that whole beat.
Instead of right.
Good thing.
Mhm.
And
Only
I didn't get it. Bone Thugs was rapping fast. I was like, that's pretty
no. But you know who I get and doesn't rap fast? PremRock, Low
Hey.
Bearing Crow's Feet, Backwoods Studios. This album is out live from the line exclusively here in
cool. I gotta record that
Culture.
commercial.
Boom, you gotta do the commercial for
I'll
that.
be right
to
back.
Sell some CDs.
Yep.
Okay, so this album's a shit, man.
Thank you, man.
Shit. Let me ask you this off top.
Yep.
How did you? And I've listened to this album many times, and I'm grateful enough to be on it, rapping and producing.
Yep.
But how did you determine whose beats would be on it? Because you got,
Yeah.
the ill Rolodex. Like, how did you just like, oh, I want Denmark, I want Green, I want Smalls, Messiah. Like,
Yeah.
you never work with Brain Orchestra, you never work with Denmark. Like, what's up with that?
Well, going back to the Wrecking Crew thread, I remember asking, hey, who should I work with?
Mm.
And Smalls immediately just said Brain Orchestra. That was it. And I was at work
Ooh.
and I threw him on. I was like opening up the bar for like the day shift where like the first hour is like really chill. And I was like, I forget what it was. It was pre-COVID, obviously.
Right.
And I kind of just hang out and like put on whatever. And I can actually like listen to a record. And I put on one of his records and I was like, yo, this kid is crazy. And I'm like, he does all the beats and raps. I'm like, oh, this kid's really dope. So I immediately emailed him. Like went to Twitter or whatever, found his email, and I
Right.
just like, hey, what would just kind of got hip to your shit. What would it look like hit me with like a really, really affordable rate. He's like,
Fire.
more if you get two. I'm like, fuck it. Why would I only get one? Give me two. So, send me a pack. Pick the two that I picked. But I was sitting with him for a while. He was really cool. He was like, don't sweat it. Like, if this is like an album, you should take your time picking what it is. Denmark, we had met a couple times actually. Really cool cat, man.
Great dude.
I haven't really spent a lot of time with him, but he's really down to earth, really cool. You can tell why him and Quelle are as close as they are.
Yeah.
They seem to be like, how some people just traverse many scenes in rap, and you're like, and it seems seamless.
Right.
It's probably because they're like a good person who has like good people skills, and that's like
Words.
definitely Denmark. So hit him up, same deal. The way he sent me those beats though was so interesting. I've never received beats this way at all. So it was like a 14-minute
Alaska, stop typing.
I'm not typing.
I couldn't hear that.
Somebody's
I
typing.
heard somebody type.
It's not me.
I'm not typing either. Whoa,
Apologies.
the Ouija. So check it. So he sent me like
sleep tonight. Anyway, go ahead.
like a 12-minute. It's just one song with like 50 beats in it, and you just hit him with the timestamp.
Bet.
And
So wait. I was like one line. It was like an old school like beat tape.
Yeah, like an MP3.
Oh, Blueprint sent me beats that way.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is really dope, and it's like super tagged out, like you know what I
Oh,
mean.
I
So
know
you
what it
can't
is.
rip
Oh,
it.
wait, Prem. Okay, taught the microphone. It's like now it's hanging and bouncing.
It's like
Ooh.
banging onto the ear.
Yeah, so just get into the front. Just
Sorry.
make it just So
From now on, all guests are required to get the Burger King mic with the,
what's going on with that?
headset and the extendo.
Oh, I see what you mean. So what if I just do this? What if I just?
that'll be perfect.
There you go.
We
This
still
takes
worried
me
about.
back to the first 40 episodes. I had to hold it with my hand to not hit the beard. That was the
It's
worst.
just it's a sensitive mic. It works.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Sensitive.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, we're back. So yeah. It sounded like typing though.
Well, because
It
they
was
just
like
This
hit
was
the
like
plastic-
It was like
Yeah,
click,
that's
click.
Yeah,
It was
bro.
just-
Gotcha. All right, yeah. So that's so good. So that's how I got that, and I was like, oh, this shit is this interesting way to get a beat pack, so to speak. Sent me the stems, like immediately called me up, like we had like a chat. Really cool, like super humbled how interested he was in doing it too. It's not sometimes like, it's a transaction, nothing more. I don't buy beats often. Like you said, the Rolodex is strong.
Yeah.
I don't need to, but certain times when you work with someone, you feel good about putting money in their hand, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Felt pretty good about putting money in Denmark and PremRock's hand and kind of build that working relationship with them, and hopefully we'll do something in the future or whatever. And I don't know. Denmark has always been on my radar as a producer, actually, for a long time.
Yeah, he's
so,
really dope.
Dude, that Sungo Nova shit, man. That shit, the
Sungo
beats are
Nova was the one for
crazy.
me, like that halal avocado toast.
Oh,
Shit
don't
is
smoke
wild.
K2 is one of my favorite
Don't
songs of all
smoke
time.
K2.
It's
That's
I
wild.
listen to it all the time.
People need to
I
really
listen.
take that advice too, because that shit is wild.
Crazy.
So
And then he rapped
Yeah.
with us on friggin' Lucky Break on Midnight Suns.
yeah. That was
Circle, bro.
serendipitous. Yeah,
That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's a unheralded. I wouldn't call him unheralded, but he should be more heralded.
Totally agree.
He's got a little Mad Lib in his beats.
Ooh, I hear that, especially on
which-
Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen to me is kind of
Yeah. Well, that whole thing, like, since we're on that beat's got that crazy switch up, right? Like
Couldn't rap to it.
But that cat AJ Swade just
AJ
ran
rapped
right
right
through
through
it. He
it.
ran right through it.
Man,
No
AJ
problem.
So like
Swade,
if you're
dog.
so when that beat comes on, when you're writing to it, that beat break will throw you because it's not an even count. It's like a 3 or 6.
I had green like extended, so I didn't have to deal with
No,
it. You know
now,
what I mean? Like,
but the first demo beat, it would
Of
come
course,
in and it mess up the 8. So if you was
Yeah.
rapping, you had your first 4, and then the next it would do something. I think it stopped at the 7. So I was having an issue writing to it because I couldn't
Yeah.
figure what to do. And my problem was I already had done that on Blue Edwards with a cabal called Rep. I already done that style.
Yeah,
So I was like,
that was tricky.
I didn't want to do
Yeah.
that again.
yeah,
And that's pretty much like, to explain to listeners, it's like a rock cocaine thing. Like the beat is doing something that somehow unnatural. You kind of got to match that, which might change your rhyme pattern.
Yeah.
And so I was having an issue with it. So I said, yo, I need somebody to loop this differently. So if y'all notice on my verse on Joel Osteen, there is no beat break part.
Mm-hmm.
I had them they took that out. Mine's just the straight part,
Yeah,
the other part of the loop.
This cat Suede
But AJ
didn't say anything. He just
AJ
like
Sway rapped right through it. His
He
style.
rapped.
and he
There's a-
turned
there's a-
it
there's a
it
hitch.
around. He was like super quick. He was like, here you go.
But there's
I
a
was
hit
like,
that he wrote through, and you can hear it when you're not listening for it. But he does it, right? He does something rhyme wise. Said something like it's like a 2-bar thing.
Sway God and premonition is wicked. Fools want to build cause they fucking with the vision. You're kidding, couldn't even play in our division. Even if you have course shoot with precision, we getting at you. Shots spread like shrapnel, efficient. Get you hooked with the bait and tackle. Subscription, HBO Max, you niggas crackle. I'm tripping, dropped another tab in holy mackerel. The fractals make a nigga wanna chain react to collisions. Particles race around the track, now we switching. Timelines that we jumping back to. Travel back in time when your mother used to smack you. I'm kidding. People sell their souls for a little too.
And that brought him right back around when the loop came back. And then that set him fine all the way through.
Funny thing I haven't shared until now is how he ended up on the record was he hit me up and he was like, yo, would you hop on my album? And I was like, yeah, of course. And then he basically was like, oh, it's coming. I got this beat that I want you on. And then it just time kind of went on. And then I was like, hey, yo, actually, don't sweat that. I'm like, would you just want to jump on mine? And then I'll give you a verse whenever you're ready. And he was like, oh, absolutely. And then he was like, oh, it's shrapnel. It's lit. Denmark Vesey, it's lit. I was like, so he was super excited to be on it. And
AJ Swade.
I just think he's super dope, man. And he puts
He's
out a
fire.
lot too.
Talented kid. Real talented.
He's so fire, man.
Yeah. He's
Producer too. He does his own multimedia.
Produces a lot of shit. Yeah. Do you know he's actually in the Red Man I'll Be That video as a kid?
As a kid?
Yeah.
As a kid, yeah.
I forget the origins of that, but
he's one of the kids. I think when they're rolling dice or playing cards, he's one of the kids outside.
He's got the cereal box.
Clip. Yeah, you can see it who he is.
Yeah. So maybe born to be a rapper, I might say. You know?
Yep. Early on.
Fire, man. All right. Alaska, what do you got to say? You want to cut off?
I mean, I want to know what the title means.
Okay. So I have crow's feet, as do many folk who age in a manner. I'm always like squinting since a child, like the sun always like kind of like, I guess maybe I have sensitive eyes. I don't know. I don't wear glasses, but it kind of like made them more pronounced earlier in life or whatever. And I was always, oh no, I look older. People are like, nah, it suits you. And it's like, I write iPhone notes a lot, and I probably have like 2,500 of them right now. You know, I haven't even really looked at them in a while. Some of them become raps. Some of them are just like whatever. But one day I like woke up after like whatever, drinking or just being a goon, and all I saw was load bearing crow's feet, and I just started laughing. And I kept thinking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, like maybe the crow's feet are holding the whole shit together, you know, like everything you're thinking about. Yeah, like kind of surreal. You know, and I was a little nervous because I was like, this is kind of goofy, like kind of silly. Like, is it gonna like undercut the intensity of the record if people like think it's like a jokish title? I was going back and forth with it. I told my girl, and she's like, nah, it's perfect. It's you. It's like, that's what you're like, you know, it fits you. And then I sent it to Woods, goes, what's the name of it? Back. And he just said, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, cool, it's a go. Like,
it's a go.
That's a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
All right, Prem, take your mic. Okay.
Good God, what's going on?
Yeah. And do it like this.
It sounds like you're re-recording Stan, like all that.
Wrap it around the like that.
What if I just hold it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hold it, that's
There
fine.
you
I didn't
go.
want you to have to go
There it
through that
is.
type of.
Yeah, it's fine.
Dear
Okay,
Mister,
yeah.
I'm too good to write back to my fans. Dude, you know what I
That's-
like about the title too? When I, like, just as a person, I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like heavy shit. I was like, yo, my man's gonna go deep with it. Like, low bearing crow's feet is like, I've lived and survived a lot of cool shit, some heavy shit, some daring shit. Okay. So when I saw that title, I was like, I'm used to, you know, like Poets Payday, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
more like sunnier titles on your shit, you know,
Sure.
a way to frame it. you know, a clean, well lighted place, you know,
Yeah.
who are to nada.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like leave intact.
Yeah.
So when I seen this shit, I was like, and then I saw the artwork by Quandary, shouts to Memetic Supply Company. I was like, yo, this is some like world traveler checking in for the night shit to tell you what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. I'm glad you came to that conclusion. Yeah, and I liked an element of like, so I'm getting a little into surrealism shit, as you know, it's like an art appreciator or whatever. But yeah, I just also I like things that when you Google them, no one's used them. So
Fire.
yeah,
Fire.
made sure that no one used that shit.
Let's I want to get into some lyric questions, but let's hit our first break.
Yeah, let's hit our first break first.
Yeah, cool. You mind if I get a beer right now? I'll be right back.
Do it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna
There you
drink some more Wallflowers approved rye whiskey.
Why are you drinking more of it? You should.
This place is cold. It feels just like a run.
Is your glass frosted?
Yo, what up? It's Alex Ludovico, and I'm inviting you to check out, as of Friday, April 2nd, my new compilation, Cocaine and Therapy. Executive produced by my man, the God, Zilla Rocca. Available only at insubordinaterecords.com. Don't go to streaming, don't go to your little Apple or Spotify. Insubordinaterecords.com. Check out the merch for the record, and then check out Zilla's dope merch that's coming out with it. It's a combination release between Insubordinate and $3 Pistol. Peace.
Wish I was a little bit cooler. Wish I was a hooper. Wish I had a girl that looked good I could scoop her. In a sick whip with a floor kit. I ain't got shit. Oh damn, I'm a loser. Wish I was a little bit cooler. Wish I was a hooper. Wish I had a girl that looked good I could scoop her. In a sick whip with a floor kit. I ain't got shit. Oh damn, I'm a loser.
Hello, Call Out Culture. Dano from FreeMusicEmpire.com. We are at the heart of this underground hip hop stuff. Breakdowns, analysis, interviews. Our YouTube channel has long form conversations. Subscribers are getting additional benefits and recommendations. Weekly hip hop discussions. We love it. Follow Call Out Culture. Follow us. FreeMusicEmpire.com. That's FreeMusicEmpire.com.
We're back. Call Out Culture
Sublime.
Podcast. Curly Castro, Alaska, Zilla Rocca
We got
with
the crow's feet, the load bearing.
PremRock.
We got the author here. Shout out Willie Green. Shout out Backwards.
Yeah, shouts to Green. He wanted to be here. He could not. We are gonna add a little special guest flavor.
We'll
the
do
man
that.
is on a mission right now, so
We'll never do
let
it.
him be.
Okay.
Dope.
Fair enough.
Plus, you kind of do need to do that definitive Willie Green episode sometime. We talked about.
I agree. If any podcast is going to do it, it's going to be us. It's not going to be fucking Mark Maron. You know what I mean? It's going to be the
That's true.
Call Out Culture podcast. It's
So
not gonna
Green.
be- Fuck him.
Mm.
No,
So-
shouts to Mark Maron.
Engineering.
So-
what is that? What do you do? What do you do?
So Prem.
Yeah.
Lyrically, our approach. What was your approach lyrically to this? Because as Zilla pointed out, some of your work with Kills is a little more melody to it. Some of your work with me, it's like we're really into like, I don't know, bar mania. It's a lot of like when me and Prem are working on something to me, it's always like Alaska. What was the garbage compactor in Star Wars and shit like that? It's just like it's that dangerous. What was that scene? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, in the original
Uh-huh.
Star Wars, where they fell into
Yes.
the garbage chute.
Yes. It's like that's how it is with me and him writing. So this one is a little. Is a
You
lot.
saying my
different.
bars are
Closing in?
garbage? What's going on?
Yes.
No, it's danger.
Compacted garbage. Like
All right,
responsible
it's like, you know what it
garbage.
is?
Yeah.
It's like the original Mortal Kombat, the floor with the spikes on it. That's what shrapnel is to me.
Yeah.
This
fair.
is this writing is different. So what was the lyrical approach?
I try not to overwrite on this one because I know I can fall into that trap sometimes if I'm like, all right, well, you get into these multis and these internals. Sometimes you lose the meaning of you try to be too clever, and then at the end of the day, it's like, well, what are you even saying? It's like, so I try to avoid that trapping while still being like super, dense. And I wanted themes to connect, but I wanted it to stay pretty esoteric. I wanted it to be like multiple. You take away multiple things from it. you know, and it's not really like what one song could be entirely about one thing, but I only mentioned that once, and everything else is kind of like collateral damage from that thing or what have you. And I don't know. I don't like to be too abstract because sometimes I don't want to listen to abstract shit. Sometimes I just want to hear it. Like, what is it? Especially as I get older, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't want to unpack like all that thing, all of those, you know, like, oh, but you got to really listen. You're not catching it. It's like, all right, well, do you got that time? Like, cause I don't, you know? So I also didn't want that to happen. So I didn't want I wanted to be like, there's a couple layers to it. If you hear it at face value and you're like, yeah, I fuck with that song, but then you missed a lot of things that I said. I wanted, you know, Easter eggs. I wanted you to be rewarded for listening to it more than once. And I think that's how I tried to write.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely been my experience listening to it as well. So it's like every time I listen to it, I catch new things and just like new feels throughout it. Like on the most recent listen, the line that caught me was, don't let obsession with shooting ruin your guard play. It's just like, you know, something that could just like go by you, but then it was like,
like,
oh wow, that's really cool.
And that was
really well thought out.
That's actually
a drug line. So
there's a lot to that one, but it's also a line about Ben Simmons in a way.
Just the Ben.
Where it's like
a drug line.
Where you can be. Yeah, well, no, of course, it's like don't miss the forest for the trees, or being like, yeah, if everything else is good, why are you so obsessed with that one thing that a person can't do, or the one thing you can't do? Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate you picking that up.
Yeah, that's the one I caught on the last. Well, there's another one too, but I'm saving that for my best bars of the album.
Gotcha.
But yeah, just in general, like I don't know, like my music habits right now, and it kind of goes into what you were saying. Is like I'm not really trying to be like when I'm music like. Do a lot of jazz, I could just throw it on whatever mood's going on and just sort of let it ride and like just enhance that experience. And that's definitely like what has been happening when I'm listening to this record. Like it's no matter what's going on, it fits that vibe. It just makes the overall experience of what I'm doing better, having it on. And like that's, you know, I don't know if that's a backhanded compliment or what, but
no,
it really like it's a good feeling record for whatever you're doing. It's like it's not just something you have to listen to like zone out on bars. It's like, it's good, complete music.
Word. I appreciate that. And I feel like that is also what I look for in like my music these days. It's like, how often are you just like, oh, I'm going to check out an album, and you sit and listen to an album? Like you're doing other things, like you're working or you're cleaning or whatever, walking. For me, like walking to work, at work, something like that. Can I still vibe out to it without like, oh no, the reason you fuck with this guy is you have to listen to what he's saying carefully. And it's like, I already went through that phase in my life, you know, like where I had to like, oh, you don't get it. I'm like, at the end of the day, we're making music, right? Like, like it's not that complicated.
When I knew that the record was special was when I got a batch of demos, like you sent me like the first batch.
Yeah.
And I got to Def on the installment plan, and I listened to it, and it's not hyperbole. I listened to it about 20, 30 times in a row.
I mean, that's the best compliment, as you know, as you guys all know, you could get.
And this before I knew Smalls produced it or anything about it. It was just, it
almost didn't make the record because I need to be saved for myself sometimes, and it's a good thing that I have Willie Green to do that for me. When he's like, "What are you thinking about?" This song is making it. It might even be your single, you know? I'm like, oh, I don't know. You know, I'm not sure. Like there was something about it initially, but then he goes, well, wait till I mix it. And then it was, you know, then it was over.
Yeah. Small Pro, what up? A check. This Art Deco showing mode, hold mic like Greco-Roman pose. Special pros for the day that I decide to let it go. You scumbag plug, you put fentanyl in the blow. Next time I see him, I'ma kill him. Word the breeze, brewing grudge, a stronghold like breeze ever flow. Those who know, couldn't measure the flow. In units which the levee hold, watch the levee break on my Led Zeppelin. So let the record show, never know, like whatever bro. But this whatever though, a show of hands if you'll never let it go, yeah. Beneath an iridescent sky, get my loving on the run and do my thinking on the fly. Drive with cunning gal, get by running miles, never let my sweat dry. Even if I'm light on green like endives, know what I mean? On that park bench high, try to reach my benchmark and depart with my head held high. It ain't that hard for you to get along with everyone. You got all these songs, you never play for anyone. God damn.
It was a different song.
But it's also a diss track. And just figure it out.
Ooh.
It's a diss track.
Death on the installment plan.
I mean,
It's
hey,
not a diss track.
if you
Subliminal.
catch
Diss track?
if you catch a
It's
stray,
not- I'm trying to get you to say it's not a diss track.
nobody is being specifically targeted.
It's a diss track.
Wow.
But people will catch
Beef.
strays.
You heard it
and
here first. PremRock says there's beef.
There's
on
no
the
beef.
Culture
There's no beef.
Podcast.
I have no specific beef with anybody, but I have a lot of problems with a lot of people, and you're all going to hear about it on
God,
this
Oh
album.
my God. This
this
is
guy- this
airing
guy
the grievances.
is angry.
Yeah.
All right. So
George
I got
Costanza.
another technical question. There's no overdubs on this record.
Not a single one.
Explain that
Who
to the
you
people.
fucking Kanye on Yeezus? You sitting down screaming into a mic? Fuck out here.
Look,
Wait, first, did y'all notice? Did y'all notice there's no overdubs? See?
No,
I did it,
but-
but now I'm gonna be listening for it.
There's none.
I did notice that. I could say from an engineering point of view, Prem's vocals are very interesting to mix
mhm.
because depending on where you are, where the mic is placed, what time of the day it is, what you've been drinking or smoking that day, your voice can get very vibrato, but
Yeah.
also obviously the signature baritone. So
Yeah.
when I hear your vocals, like people that have mixed my records that you are on, your voice doesn't sound the same one depending on who's mixing it, right?
not even
No.
close.
So with Green, it's like, he knows, kind of like how like RZA would have like the presets for like Ghostface, he would have
Mhm.
one for Deck and Ray. I feel like Green nails that shit with your mixing and having your voice in front and having it clear while still being, bass heavy.
Yeah, we did the
it-
whole thing at his house actually at the
Bet.
studio that he just moved in the middle of the pandemic, which is really challenging. Obviously, we all went through it. So, but I had all these plans and pieces together to make this record and it to be done, and then basically I got the word from Green. He's like, "Yo, my son's gonna be born on this date. Everything has to be done before this."
Mhm.
So I figured it out, and God bless this dude. He made it happen. He's like, "Come through. We'll do the masks, and I'll Sandy everything up, and we'll knock it out in 2 days, back to back." And yeah, because I had demos from everywhere, man. Like I had pieces from here and there, and all these songs that hadn't been recorded. I didn't re-record everything though. Like I recorded Prairie Burn. I did the vocals through the SP 404, yeah,
Okay.
at Fresh Kills' apartment back when. So that's why it's got that vibe to it. But then when it switches into the second part, we did that at Green's house. So
Sick.
I mean, he could make anybody like he's pulling 2 tracks, from certain beats.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, certain producers only give you 2 tracks, and I'm not gonna, I mean, they know who they are. It's not a diss, but that's just
But
how they
sometimes
operate.
it makes it difficult on the back end to try to mix all of those different elements when you have a beat
I
with
mean,
17 parts.
It blows
and
my
2 track.
mind. It blows my mind that he's able to make a 2-track sound just like a 8-piece, an 8-stem beat. But here we are. So yeah, but that was a conscious decision. I told him, I said, I don't know why, but I feel like I don't want to do any dubs on this record. He was like, "Cool, I'll fuck with that." He's like, "We're gonna. That's how we're gonna treat your vocals differently then." Yeah, so we went into that. That was a concise plan.
What were you listening to like did you have an idea in mind for this album to think like, okay, I've made my such and such record. I was really heavy into this in my life. I made this such and such record. Like what was it with this? Was that conscious or not?
Good question. I like that question. Just because knowingly or unwittingly, you're influenced by what's going on. Off the top, I can't really say. Obviously, Woods was popping with Hiding Places, which I listened to a lot. He's definitely an influence. Obviously, I mean, we're in each other's orbit often these days, so it's hard not to be influenced by what he's doing. Obviously, you guys listening to like your various stages of your projects seeps into my subconscious, makes me competitive in a good way, where I'm like, all right, I love these guys to death, but want my record to be the best one. You know, I mean, I think that's how we all feel.
I'm getting 30. You get 20. I'm getting 30. But you get that 20.
Exactly, and that's how. So it's good, like a breeze competition type of thing. But I was listening to when I say I was listening to obviously non-rap things. Such a stupid thing to say, but yeah, I mean, listen to a ton of like female-led bands specifically, and I don't know why, but Big Thief, Japanese Breakfast, listened to a lot of both those bands during the time I remember specifically, and I read a lot. So when I would hit a snag, I would kind of dive back into reading, and I go through like a love-hate relationship with reading, where I just kind of get like, it bores me to death, or it gives me tons of energy to write. When someone says something, I'm like, that's wild. Death on the Installment Plan, I was walking through my favorite bookstore, and I had the idea to name the song that, but that dude is like, I mean, that dude is fucked up, like for real. Talk about the author, and he had a time in his life where he wasn't fucked up, and he wrote that book, and it was like, impactful. But I was like, yo, someone might call me out on this. You know how it is, like some bullshit. I'm overthinking it, and I turned the corner, and I swear to on everything, I turned the corner, and in this massive bookstore, there's one book that hit the ground that had been there on the ground. And I turn it, and it's Death on the Installment Plan. So I picked it up and put it back, and I'm like, I'm naming this fucking song Death on the Installment Plan. Sounds made up, but it really happened. I promise you. So I would say like a mix between our peers and all that. Shrapnel had been done and turned in. I wanted to outdo that, but in a different way. Like,
boom. So I need to piggyback on that before you speak on that. So that's my question. What did the Shrapnel experience do to change things? Like how you approach your solo, what you write about, how the promo went for this record. Like, what did Shrapnel do to change things?
Shrapnel like really changed my perspective in a lot of ways. It was the most successful record I'd been a part of. Yeah, I mean, people were talking about it in a way that they haven't been talking about me. I think we've all had brushes with situations where we're like, wow, I can't believe that happened. And you look back and you're like, man, at that time I thought I was really going up, and then, life has its way of knocking you kind of back down. But, I was putting out projects that the people who fuck with me really cared about. And I love that. I love them for that. And I was doing tours that more or less, I come home and had rent and some money for groceries, and then it was back to work. And I hadn't experienced people trading my shit on Discogs for 60 euro or whatever. Damn. Yeah, and I couldn't believe it. I'll never forget. We were waiting to get our, the vinyl. It was pre, before all the shit hit the fan. And I was at this one place that I was working like one night a week. I didn't really like it. My coworker, and I kind of like this dude, so it's gonna sound like I'm dragging him, and I am for what he said. He goes, "Oh, don't worry. Eventually, you'll be giving that vinyl away." Because people weren't gonna buy it, and I'm like,
"Oh, well, you never told me this story."
Yeah, because he's in he plays trombone and some some new age jazz.
So he's just swimming in pussy. He's just drowning in the bitches.
Yeah, exactly. So he was like, "Don't worry," it was like him trying to like sun me a little bit, even though he's younger than me. Correct. And being like, well, I've put out vinyl before, so I know.
Right, and this is what happens. Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, man, fuck you, bro. Like, we're gonna sell out of this, And then, but I still was nervous because I'm like, I never sold vinyl before. What's the market like? I don't have one to speak of. So the fact that it went as quick as it did, and it put pressure, but I would say healthy pressure. I didn't like rip my hair out being like, man, how am I going to follow Shrapnel? I'm like, I can't wait to follow Shrapnel in a way because I'm giving people more of myself and I'm conscious decision not to have a lot of features. And it made me like excited, that when you're like, all right, it's my turn to rap. at a show, like let me at him, kind of.
Yeah.
That's how I felt, you know.
Dope.
Fire, bro. Let's take a quick break. I just smacked the mic with my ring.
Bang.
Let's take a quick Coors Light break. Coors Light banquet break.
Yo, you know what's
Coors
crazy?
Light banquet
Real quick.
Yeah.
You mentioned party ball,
Yeah, hell yeah.
and
That's
I
the
was
Coors Light
like,
party balls.
yeah, of course. But then I like Prodigy really did say, remember party
Yeah,
balls?
that was back in like 90.
Yeah,
we used to split
smoke
Ooey's, now
Ooey's
we
and-
smoke Dutches. Big busted. Was it disgusted? Ooh.
But can you picture these dudes with a party ball?
Pete this. The first time you ready? You want to hear a funny, interesting story? I'll
A
never forget
fucking
this.
party ball.
The
Unbelievable.
first time I saw a party ball,
Yeah.
I was like 7 years old. I'm in the parking lot at RFK Stadium when the Eagles finished practice, and there was like deflated, busted party balls in the Eagles parking lot.
Yeah.
And out walks like Reggie White, Jerome Brown, rest in peace. Jim
Wow.
McMahon was on the fucking Eagles, right?
Wow.
Young Randall. And like they're like, you know, people like the reporters and the kids that were getting autographs, and there's like busted party balls on the ground. Like,
I don't know
next to
what
Eagles
the hell we're
Jeeps.
talking about. I don't know what party ball.
So a
is.
party ball is a big ball filled with beer. And
Yeah, it's
don't
like
make
them.
five cases of beer in a bowl.
It's so
So it's like a way to get draft
man.
beer. It's like smaller than a half keg.
Yes.
It's so terrible.
But wait,
It's such a
it's
terrible
the
concept.
liquid or they're
Yes.
in the container?
Yeah,
It's
it's
a-
a giant plastic ball
Yeah.
filled
And
with
it's-
beer, and you have to get a tap.
it's not
like
a
special
keg?
tap that you have to
No,
get.
It's not.
it's a
No,
ball.
no, no.
It's like a bubble boy ball full of fucking beer, bro.
It's so
Wait, do they ever
obviously-
get finished? Do they finish?
Yes.
these
Yeah,
things?
yeah, they
man.
go quick.
Wait.
The
Come
first
on.
time we ever got one, we just
Wait,
like
how
shoved
big are
the
you
tap
talking
into the
about?
box.
Like, what are we
and
talking about? It's
Cracked
like a
the
beach
ball
ball?
without realizing like it's a special place.
It's
It's like the
beach ball or
size
it's
of
a-
like
Hold on, watch. Ready? Here you
Can
go.
we get a party
Look,
ball
Look,
picture,
see this
please?
party ball? You see this?
What?
We've got
This
it.
is what y'all
Ask
did
for it.
as
Yeah.
teenagers?
yeah.
This is-
All
Here you
right,
go,
yeah.
look, there's a party
that's-
ball.
I cannot, yo. Me and alcohol, we were never meant to meet like
You
that.
didn't fuck with
Wow.
party balls?
No,
Wow.
I don't know what. I've never seen that before.
You never seen
But
it?
like, can
I
you see
swear.
though? Like, I just can't.
Remember party
it
balls? That was
warms
back in like 90.
warms my heart to see to think of Prodigy with a party ball.
Yo,
I just
he would've
imagine them
been
like walking around with it.
street-faced.
Yeah, he was
exactly.
doing it himself.
Bringing
Bro.
it-
He was
yeah,
doing it
yeah.
himself.
Wait, in
Oh
New
my
York
God.
projects, you're just rolling it down the block? Like, what do you
Yo,
do? How do
cats
you
just
No,
transport
drinking
it
out
used
of
to come in
Henderson
the box,
bottles.
so you probably just carry the box.
Carry the
Yeah.
box,
Ah,
man,
the
and
box.
just have the tube and just
You know,
straight in your
big-
mouth like whipped cream or something.
Big Noid always had the party ball. That's it.
The
He was
party
known for
ball.
Oh, yeah,
Yo,
he was
Oh,
like
bring
that.
no,
that
he
back,
bring the
bro.
party.
Big
Yo,
twins always had the party ball, man.
You heard
All
it
right,
here
we'll-
first at the PremRock
we'll-
release
we'll-
party.
we'll
Big
be
Twins and Noise gonna come through with the party ball.
Party ball.
Come by.
Call out
Kingsland and
Coach.
Brooklyn.
I'm gonna
We'll
look
be
into
there.
getting one. All right, so
Yo,
We'll-
please.
we'll be right
Yo,
back.
I don't care if we gotta drink a 35-year-old party ball together. You're bringing one to the fucking
Call out
show, bro.
culture. We'll be
I think
back.
that should be the first call out culture merch item.
We're going on
Yeah.
party ball.
Steel's Kitchen, the new compilation from us, Wrecking Crew. The follow-up to last year's Raheem's Lament, dropping June 4th at wreckingcrew.bandcamp.com. All new joints from Shrapnel, Career Crooks, Cargo Colts. All new solo songs from me, Small Pro, Curly Castro, and PremRock. Alaska's on there. Marcus Pinn's doing cuts all up and down out piece. Fresh Kill's got a beat on there. Shouts to Canada. We got Jason Griff on this piece. Stan Ipkiss, Fat Boy Sharif, our very dear friend. Scorsese, rest in peace. He's on there. Yo, man. Disco Vietnam, Dose 4 GW. Whew. Mastered by Cryptic, one of the Adams fam, and artwork and design by PQ. Family affair. And our family's the illest. Wrecking Crew, Steel's Kitchen, June 4th. Get it.
Hey, what's up, Call Out Culture listeners? It's your boy Jason Griff. I'm here today to tell you about my new album, Fireside Chats. I flipped a bunch of punk rock samples, made a bunch of dope beats out of them, got a bunch of dope rappers to rap on them. Everybody from Call Out Culture will be there. Zilla Rocca, Curly Castro, Alaska. Shit, Alaska's there twice. I got Alex Ludovico, I got Billy Woods, I got Juggernaut. Of course, my homie Scorsese is on it. And we got it available today at insubordinaterecords.com. You can get 10% off with the promo code CALLOUT. Fireside Chats, check it out. Peace.
party ball.
And I, for one, I am just a member of the podcast. I do not, nor do I have any knowledge of party balls.
Yo,
in any
you are
sense, way,
lacking
shape,
right
or
now,
form.
bro. How are you? How are you
Okay.
alive?
This
How-
does not reflect I'm just a member
How
of
are
the
you a
entire
Gen
crew.
Xer? You don't know what a
It
party
does not
ball is.
reflect my
Did you ever do nip
experience with
nights?
alcohol. What are y'all talking about?
What did you say?
What are y'all
Wait,
talking
wait,
about?
Castro. Here it is. This is what it would look like in real life, like realistic.
I don't know none of
Yeah.
like. First of all, that Coors Light thing.
Oh, remember
I
this?
walked
Remember
in
they
the
brought
other
this back a
direction.
couple years ago?
Y'all
you
have got to
could buy
be
this
kidding
at
me.
the
Look
liquor
at
store
this.
or at the
This
Acme.
is such a bad idea.
We
I
know
never
Yeah, yeah.
bought
Remember the
more
tops?
than,
These were the tops.
like,
The
people
tops.
buying boxes of beers and cases. I'm like, what are y'all doing? I never
People
bought
buy
more than a
boxes of
six.
wine. Why not a box of beer?
Box
I
of
never,
So you
wine.
have draft beer. It's like
I've never bought
easier
more than
than
a
having a
six
keg.
pack.
Here it
and
is.
I've never
Here it is.
bought
Alaska
more
in a
than one
box.
bottle at a time. Of
There you
anything.
go. That's a
Look
classic.
at
Yeah,
that.
you pour your
That's
ice in the box, keep it cold. Boom.
That is a
Dude, we used to
fucking.
get them. We
that
used
is
to get them in
alcoholic
college,
poisoning
and there's
in a stretcher.
waterfalls, and there's like holes in the rocks, so we would just put beer balls in the holes in the rocks.
Listen to these ideas.
I
I like when you were in college drinking party balls. I was 7 getting Eagles autographs with the party ball.
With the party balls.
Like that's my.
Yeah.
We dumped our party balls in the parking lot in our high school.
You're like fuck the Eagles, bro. Fucking Jets, bro.
Fuck the
Throw
Eagles.
it in there. Fuck the Eagles.
Jets fans would take the pilgrimage to dump empty party balls.
Yo, you want to hear something
Jets.
funny about?
That's the only team the Jets have never beat. Is the Philadelphia.
Yo,
Eagles.
you know, here's something funny. So in my neighborhood, there's like a rival. There's always been a rivalry between Second Street, which is right down the block from me, which is all Irish people, right? It's all working class Irish, the fucking mummers. 10th Street is all Italians, right? All Italian people. They do like the Italian festivals and shit. And they would always have beef with each other. So like if you were a dude from Second Street and you walk by 10th Street and they knew you were Irish, they'd fuck you up or chase you or something, right? So what the Second Street dudes used to do was get in their cars and take all their trash from their house, their trash bags, drive up 10th Street and just throw their trash out the window on 10th Street.
Jesus.
It's 8 blocks away. You're loading up your car with garbage to then drive 8 blocks with trash in your car. It's empty it out the window. So Alaska was doing that, but taking a 2-hour trip.
Take a 2-hour trip just to dump beer balls. So we used to do that, and we used to do nip night. So nip night was you would get teams of 3, get a case of Budweiser nips. So like the little 8-ounce.
Yeah, I see the Coors Light joints.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you would basically have a race to see who finishes a case first.
Nip night.
Dude, even if you finish the case, that was like 30 ounces of beer.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's because it was like it was the case was
Pony
6
bottles.
8-packs.
Yeah.
Oh, but
No,
how
we,
many ounces per bottle? Like 8 ounces?
It's 8 ounces, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's but if you're going fast, it's gonna get you a little fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
They still have
Yeah,
them.
especially when you're in high school.
My bar has them. We still have them.
Yeah,
Oh, you
nice.
see- what do you sell nips of?
Little ponies.
Pony bottles.
Corona and Budweiser, and we had High Life. But yo, there's been a wild shortage of random shit because of COVID.
Yeah.
One of them is High Life. You can't find High Life with the
It's
nips
my
anymore.
favorite. It's my favorite.
And then there was
beer.
a big Tecate shortage, which really messed up a lot of people's plans.
It's probably the Trump shit.
I
When he
mean,
was fucking
Well,
Mexico.
all the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans, they drink Tecate out there, right?
Mexican, Mexicans drink Tecate for sure.
I love
Tecate.
What do Puerto Ricans drink?
Puerto Ricans, I guess. I mean, can't really put my finger on that. Dominican is El Presidente for sure.
Hold the mic like Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
Presidente.
So yeah, I mean, just in my experience, I'm not trying to typecast anybody.
That's fucking
No.
crazy.
All right.
There you go. Ready?
I think our
Three.
next episode definitive beers by race, gender, ethnicity.
Sexual preference. The
I can tell you-
demisexuals love
I can
the
tell you-
love the course.
I can tell you the funniest thing about tipping with people tipping, seeing as it's like a daily operation with me, is the hood like hustler dude, right? It's either one of 2 ways. He either tips you like the most absurd amount of money for the amount of work you did, or he whips out like $1,500 and like waits for his dollar back and puts it back in his big ass stack and walks right away. It's like there's never like there's never like a 20% or
just a
good looking. Here's
clean 20.
800% or 9%.
It's like here's a 20 for like a drink, or like I'm gonna sit here and wait for my 50 cents back. So I respect it.
Sounds
You
about
just give
right.
him $20. Keep the ice cold.
Hit or
Yeah,
miss.
dude.
Yeah, exactly. They
Not this
gave him
guy.
$20.
No, like your man, the baby. What he did with those vendors that tried to.
What is
Yeah,
that
but
story?
the upsell was
So
insane,
what
bro.
happened was these
can't
kids
do that.
came up to him and he opened up the Sprinter van, and as soon as they started talking, I think they just played it wrong. They start talking about some $200 donation or something. Like they're selling like dollar candy. And they all just sell like a box a piece. And so he's like, hold on, well, how much is the candy? And he buys just $2 from each. And he said, y'all came at it wrong because I was gonna bless y'all.
Yes.
If y'all weren't trying to gorge me with this,
course.
because one kid kept saying, "Oh, I get 200 a box" or something like that. And he said, "How many is in the box?" And he said, "Count them too." And it was like $60 worth in the box. It wasn't this 200 donation thing. They came at it wrong, and so he gave him $4 and closed his print event. When they probably would have got a G from him because he had that type of disposable money.
I don't really bite on too many headlines, but I'm like, oh, what did the baby do? And
every
time I find out what it is, I'm always like, why are we talking?
Underwhelmed. It's very underwhelming when you find out.
You would have thought he beat up 4 kids.
Yes, it's very underwhelming when they
he like stood up to kids trying to upsell
and taught them a
1,500%
lesson.
Taught
them a lesson. When you see
I
Shaq,
probably would have
act like you don't know Shaq got no money, and you might get 300, 400 from a Barkley.
Don't be a greedy asshole.
Don't be a hey. This candy is the $500 golden
get the fuck
crap.
He knows, dude. Come on, he knows what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Somebody posted that Chappelle video as a response to that, the one where like he's at the barbershop and they're watching the news and it announces that he got the $50 million contract and he's like, so how much I owe you? The barber's like, $11,000. He's like, it says 20 on the board. He's like, that's the old price.
That's the old price.
Oh, that's the shit. All right, well, let's talk load bearing crow's feet and not poor tippers that sell drugs and roll Harlem streets. So my favorite song, I mean, Prairie Barn, that kind of goes without saying, but I think it's probably Next Left. I think it's Next Left.
The next left.
That's
ahead.
me. Like, I just love that. Next Left Ahead. That's me. I just love the Denmark shit with that like dusty like kind of like folk guitar type shit. And then like the kind of fucking like incarcerated Scarface's drums.
Yeah, that's a classic. I mean? That's a classic break. When I got the stems, I was like, oh, that's like it's a break we've all heard a million times.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, cool. So like, glad you said that. I think I'm flexing the most on that one. So I was pretty proud of it. But someone brought this up too in a review. They're like lots of drums on this album, and I was like, fuck yeah! Like I'm not. I don't know when I've consciously rapped over no drums other than a couple of the Shrapnel songs, which were
and you did it on the what's the name joint, the You and Kills, the choir joint.
Sure, yeah, that was kind of us like acquiescing to the sound of the day, and it turned out well.
That song's great.
But man, like fucking drums, man. Drums are part of the
don't be
foundation.
An asshole.
Don't be an asshole. Rap over drums. I mean, it's cool. It's cool to show that you can do the drumless sound, but I mean, it was always going to come back to like let's go back to drums, So
yeah, straight up.
That was like when I heard that break, I was like, oh yeah, like I've had that break at some point in my life where digging around or whatever. It's one of the more recognizable ones. So at first I was like, oh, is this like too recognizable of a break? But then you listen to like some of the more poppin' albums by someone like, let's say, Benny or something, like that Burden of Proof record. Those are breaks we all know.
Of course.
That's all they are, looped. And then the rest of the beat is made from there. So
it's the Detroit Emeralds break?
Is that what that is?
Yep, that's your favorite,
I think so,
right?
Yeah,
Good
that's
call.
the one. Yeah.
Good call. Yeah. Great break. I mean,
It's a wonderful break.
They're great breaks for they're still still being used.
Yeah, it's like impossible to make corny on top of that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's me. Next one. Admission of guilt, sign waivers, permission to spill, no use crying. Preemptive grip in the milk, can't acknowledge the pattern. Flipping the quilt, extend the oversight and overview, equipped with the stilts. You're trying to build, but something is amiss. I sense a rip in the silt. You get the drift like the wind swept under what's been built. Portrait of an artist in a 4th floor boarded apartment. Slip with the pills. Exhale the daffodils. Breathe deep, keep with the quills. It gets deeper instilled. Like sown seeds of hatred of a basic plan of discretion. Now which questions to field? Which indigestion will yield? Breathe it down, real regret. Breathing down your neck now, snipping at your heels. You should nip it in the bud. Life, live it how you want. Slow your roll, increase your speed. But here you are, gripping the wheel. This next left up ahead, that's me.
What's a break RZA used that I just heard it again? He used it for Bells of War.
Oh, it's on my album. It's on Vegas Vic.
That's where I
It's a
heard it.
Tom
That's
Scott joint.
That's where I heard it.
Yeah, that's
Is
my
it,
favorite
is
break.
it Sneaking in the is it Sneaking in the Black?
Yeah, what's the name of that Tom Scott joint? Yeah, it's a Tom Scott.
That's where I heard it. Okay.
Yes, I think it's Tom Scott. I think that's his name, right?
Vegas Vic, man. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
boy,
it's gonna be a heavy ass drop, man.
We're getting there, man. Thank you. Thanks for everybody on IG Live too. Fuck
All
with me
right.
yesterday.
Prem, what we got coming up? Because this week is their show. When this airs, it'll be a show.
Sneaking in the Back. Tom Scott. I saw it misspelled one time, and it was Sneaking in the Black, and I was like, "Is that the name of the song?" And I couldn't and now to this day, I wasn't sure which one it was. Sneaking in the Back. There we go. Yeah, we got the release show. I don't know when you guys are going to air this one, but it's probably
It'll be this when this airs. The
week of.
show will be the week of.
all right. Well, later this week we're doing a release show. We got the. There's a rumor that Smalls is coming up, but I don't know if that's true.
I can't confirm or deny the Smalls rumor.
We'll see.
Definitely no confirming or denying.
We will see him when we see him. I got some cool guests, special guests, but obviously we got Zilla Castro, Brain Orchestra, who I'm excited to see his live set.
You can say the special guest here. This is exclusive for the Patreon. You can say it here.
Fat Boy Sharif and this dude Jarv. That I don't know if you guys are up on him or not, but he's a really phenomenal live performer and MC. Oof. So I played with him in Vermont. Just Jarv, Jarv.
Jarv.
So if you look him up, he has like a fuck ton of followers if people really know the dude. But he, I don't think he's in our people in our universe don't really know him.
Okay.
But I saw him. There's one of those instances where you do a show with someone on the road and you're like, you have no idea. And then I was like, yo, what? This kid is crazy. Huge Tom Waits fan. He's got a test pressing of Small Change at his house. I stayed at his house when I was in Vermont. And that shit is worth I don't even know. But so old soul, younger cat. Excited to see him.
Nice.
This is Patreon only? The entire interview?
Nah. This is gonna be on a live feed.
So I was gonna say what's going on here.
But by the time it drops, it'll be 2 days to the joint.
Yeah,
and Zilla can bleep him out.
Use your best imagination. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he's not even giving us real gems here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Gaslighting is fucking.
Look, I tried, dog.
You tried. You know what I asked you too about this album, man? So I said to you when Shrapnel came out, I'm like, yo, this is like your most New York shit ever. Right?
Yeah.
This one, it's like what I always think is interesting about you is from all your shit with Kills and Green is that you have a very like the decisions you make for production is typically like funky and then and is good for live sets, and you pick very like big, thick, kind of polished sounds. Like you don't go for on your own devices, I should say. You don't typically go for like staticky, jagged pieces. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You'll have those moments sprinkled through records. And so I think this album does that too. But it's like when I hear Death on the Installment playing by Smalls, and then even what you did on Raheem's Lament with him, like Book Fair, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
These are like happy beats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which I love because like they're melodic and they're big. And so when you contrast that with like Prairie Barn, right?
Yeah.
Or like Soft Machinery, shouts to Messiah Music.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there like a certain thing you're looking for consciously to be like, all right, for this record, I want to hear these type of sonics? Or is it these are just the hottest beats I got my hands on right now?
Yeah, good question. So here's a nice little tidbit. I don't know if you guys know this, but Death on the Installment Plan is the same song as Arm & Hammer Dead All. Same sample.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No wonder why I feel like I know this shit, but I don't.
Later in go listen to it. Mm-hmm. And offline I'll tell you where the original song is too.
Okay, bet. I'm excited.
But he told me that and I was like blown away. I told Woods that. Woods was like, really? Like, really? And I was like, yeah. So that like a song like that's a song that's ready made. I'm like, cool. It feels good in the catalog. I didn't make that specifically for the album. You know, I didn't. It was just a Lucy, you know. And then the reason why that's such a good question is that I was approaching the finish line and I knew I needed more sounds. So I hadn't hit up Messiah. I had hit up Messiah Music, but I got beats that I ended up not using. And I still have those beats. And I'm trying to think. Oh, we put out one on Cobalt. Doom, doom, doom. The opener to Cobalt was one of that original stash.
Milk of the Poppy.
Milk of the Poppy.
Oh, that's the shit.
Yeah. So I had that one, and I was like, "Nah, me and Castor are gonna sound good on this one." So I said, "I need some new sounds," and he sent me a pack, and I picked the two that I picked out of that pack. And Soft Machinery is one of them where I was like, when I heard that trumpet, I was like, "Man, okay, this is exactly what I need right here."
It's a great.
That's my favorite song on the record.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
favorite song and favorite beat on the record.
Explain to the people the gist behind. The onus behind Soft Machinery.
Definitely inspired by being around some very unsavory people. There's some William Burroughs shouts in the song where it's like, I really love the idea of like, all right, so being like where I've had my brushes with like some, interesting situations because of, I'll call it what it is, because of using drugs earlier in my life more prevalently, and being in situations where like, yo, you got to go meet this dude down the street, right? And then you walk through, just like at what hour of the day, or someone's like, hey, yo, can you get something for me? Like, and I don't want to, or, but I still have to, fine, I'll do it. You know what? You've looked out for me before, and I'm not going to send you down that street. So I'm going to go down that street. Oof. And you end up in these scenarios where like, man, you hope that it's not littered with all the people from that building outside on the building. Cause man, you look like, especially in Harlem, you look like a mark, you look like a target. So you get in these situations that I'm like, all right, I could traverse through these scenarios without something bad happening. And then you start to know where to go, start to know who to look for, start to know where not to go, who not to see. And I just really like extrapolated that like feeling and was like, what if you created a whole universe where like it's after midnight in New York City, where all the boroughs are open for you got to go from here to here, almost like a Warriors type element where it's like you got to get home without getting into this or that. And it's all kind of encompassing in this streetwise and like enlightened junkie, for lack of a better phrase. Still a user, still a person who is not very much higher up on the societal totem pole than anyone really, but can get you from point A to point B, like a Virgil almost, but I like the idea of like that person holding supreme knowledge of a situation, when in every other situation you're just going to kind of look at them and shudder. And not to say I've ever been that, like never been like a drug dependent person, but I've been in these situations that I'm not necessarily proud of, but I can like kind of use them as a writing tool. And I felt like I achieved it on that one, because if when it was done I was like, yeah, this is the one for that.
Damn. Fuck yeah, man. Alaska, you got anything to add, my man?
No, I mean, just like,
knowledge.
If we want to talk about bars, I'm down for that.
Do it.
So there's two that like I really fucking love, and I'm not sure which song the first one is, but who will love Aladdin Sane? I'm practically a Latter-day Saint. Just as a Bowie fan, I love that, and I just like sort of love the wordplay and the connections and the sounds. And then the line that really like, it was the one that stood out to me on my first listen, it still stands out to me every time, is the Joel Osteen Lock the Church Doors. Just because it's so like, that statement alone is just like perfect in the hypocrisy of like all these motherfuckers. And like, it really just like, if you know what happened and what that means, I mean, it like really just like nails it.
Thank you, man. I listened to that. I discovered Aladdin Sane for the first time during writing this album. And I was like,
oh, wow, really?
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm a pretty big Bowie fan, but I hadn't gotten into that. Is that the name of the album too? Yeah. Right.
It's the name of the album too, yeah. But I was thinking the songs. It's like one of my favorite songs.
It is.
Piano on that shit's unbelievable.
specifically the song is what really caught me. But yeah, it's a cover where he's got the star and all that.
Yeah.
I got into that record, so that actually goes back to answering Zilla. I was listening to a lot of Bowie too. Yeah, who love? I like that. Well, I mean, this is like exactly my favorite shit about writing like this. Is like that was an Easter egg for someone like you, you know.
Yeah.
And you caught it, and it's just like, you know, it's a shout, it's a nod to what's inspiring me at the time. And then Joel Osteen, man, I mean, like, what a scumbag. And I just like the idea of like not lionizing a scumbag, but like being like, I'm gonna call the song like out. Like there was no debate in my head. I'm like, we're calling this Joel Osteen because that fucking guy. Man.
Yeah,
and like a lot, you know, it's so bad, man. He's so just.
It's Kanye's boy, isn't it?
Probably.
Ain't that,
I don't know.
Ain't that the reverend he got with recently when he started doing his stuff? And
I mean, this dude, like,
Yeah.
you know, all these people needed all this help or just at least shelter, and this dude literally is locking the doors to his mega church. It's just like, man, fucking wild.
He's like one of those prosperity gospel dudes, and fucking
no taxes because, you know,
super snake oil salesman. Like you look at him, and you're just like, oh my god, you're fucking
he's got
tripping.
the big ass teeth, you know.
Yeah,
the giant perm.
Yep.
Get out of here, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then I really love the AJ Suede line. Never land in a pan like Peter. Got teammate from Japan like Jeter.
Yeah.
It just makes me fucking crack up every time.
So good. I'm HBO Max. You crackle.
You crackle.
I didn't catch that. I actually didn't catch that one at first, and then I heard it. I was like, "Oh man, this kid is good, man."
Yep.
It's like,
yeah, he's dope.
Yeah,
I love that shit. He's so funny, man. Yeah, man. I don't even have any bars that I can quote offhand. I should have wrote them down because I was driving. I'm always listening to the car driving. I mean, this album while I'm in the car.
Yeah,
so I'm not like writing shit down.
It's all good.
Sure, what do you got, bro?
All right, my question is, what's next for PremRock?
Hey,
what you got coming up next?
Well, I'm writing this record with these two other cats. You know, they're tough. They're tough people to work with in general.
Tell me about it.
I concur.
Look, hey, I'm slow and steady on this one. Yeah, no, writing the Sedale threat. We're going with threat, right?
Yeah,
threat? Okay.
it's threat.
It's not three, right?
No, it's not three. It'll be threat.
Sedale threat record. Me and Kills, the aforementioned, we had been working on this record with a full kind of ensemble from Austria, which it was funny. Who told me this? Who was like, oh man, Call Out Culture guys are gonna hate you for rocking with a live band, but it's not a live band. It's not how it's gonna sound.
We can still hate you though for that.
You can still hate me for it, yeah, because I was always kind of against that sound, as I'm sure you guys are too.
Yeah.
It sucks, but
unless it's Krungbing, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, but no one's really. You could rap on every one of their songs,
or like El Michael's Affair,
if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool project, super like proggy. I'd say like I had a hand in a lot. I was there for a lot of the compositions being built, and I wrote kind of there. Fake Four is going to put that out. Kind of fits what they do in a way.
Nice.
So yeah, that'll come out at some point. Shrapnel 2, I got nothing left to do for. So that's done. That's going to be a monster.
Fire.
Going to do some shows this fall. Yeah, New England. We're kind of putting it together right now. Kind of scared to go back out in a way. Like, I don't know. It's like, I mean, Alaska knows he stopped touring. I'm sure the last thing he wants to do is get on the road after a sabbatical.
I'm never going on the road again. I'm never going on stage again.
I figured you would never go on the road again. I mean, I think you might have said that, but that's just my assumption. But taking like a year and a half off after being constantly out made me realize like there's things I don't love about the road. And I want it to be a lot more airtight. You know, I want drives to be really short. Like I want Sundays to be chill. If I'm out there for more than like a week, I want Sundays to be like, can we chill out and like watch football and not be struggling to do a sound check in a town where we're going to have half the attendance because it's Sunday, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but I feel ready to do it. like ready to start. I'm starting with the emails and the responses, whatever, because I'm booking it. So it feels good in that regard. The biggest thing I miss about it is I miss being in different places, different cities with different energy and the different food and people I've met before, seeing them again and all that. But yeah, other than that, I think we got a lot of work coming out as a crew. Definitely all over that Vegas Vic. Got a couple on that LRH, which I don't think you've said the whole title, have you yet?
No, I haven't.
All right, so LRH.
I think I said it on the live last night, but no, I haven't said it.
It's like LRG, right? The clothing company.
Yeah, that's the Dave Chappelle clothing era.
I mean, it's months away, so I guess I gotta wait.
The best part about my album is like Prem basically runs the last half of the album.
I was surprised when I heard it. I was like, I love it. I mean, not
You're
even
like,
from
there's
like
me again, me also.
Well, no, it's not even egotistical being like, I love me some me. It was just like, all right, cool. Like that. Like, I like that idea. If someone's going to be on a record more than once, like, why not like lead it into each other, I don't know.
There you go.
So shouts to Barry. Barry, he arranged it, didn't
he? Yes. He and I went back and forth, but yes, I think he had final say. And then he also cut songs off of it, son of a bitch.
Well, now we got whatever next amalgamation of Steel's Kitchen. We got a head start on now.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
I'll be real.
yeah.
Wow.
To the people, which I'm glad there are people who are asking about the vinyl. Hopefully they keep it to a polite inquiry. I'm sure everyone knows that the plants are backed up like fuck. So working on it.
I'm part of the problem, as I shared last night on IG, because I bought a Aesop Rock Spirit World Field Guide from GameStop.
I saw that.
$14, can't beat it.
People are trying to
deliver it in 2 days.
People are trying to blame. People trying to blame like rumors though. Have you seen that?
Yeah, people are like, oh, because fucking Walmart was press rumors. That's why your indie fucking album's backed up. I'm like, well,
I mean, I don't know about that.
Well, whose album is rumors? Who's that?
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
So like Fleetwood Mac is running all
for 60 years, but got to repress it.
Who doesn't have a copy of rumors?
I have like 2 down here because my fucking wife.
Exactly. You could dig at a dollar bin and find rumors.
Yeah, like literally $1.
That's not the reason.
It's like the reason is, to me, obvious, right? Like we had to produce a fuck ton of plastic to combat, everything else that we were doing.
But also it's not necessarily unethical, but I don't think plants were doing as much as they are now, is moving the schedules, pulling the little small orders, moving them down the line. If a big order or a record label comes with a significant order is making people move. I don't think they used to do that before. But now,
think about how lucky we were by the time our album was out.
Oh, I was with the regular process. It took like 2 months. 2 months to get our vinyl back.
Yeah, I don't pretend to know the logistics of the lacquer and waxing and how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I'm not into it either. The cool thing is, I will say, is that people, the fucking demand is there. So if people want to spend $30 to $60 to $100 to put that shit on their wall or play it, store it, take pictures, that's fucking cool with me, man.
I mean, I think it's great. I think it's great that people are like the average person is starting to recognize that there's value in it.
Sure.
Yeah, vinyl's back in a big way. And I also respect that everybody's really showing patience. Like they know everything. Everybody knows we're all in the same situation.
100%.
I haven't heard a lot of
just don't be on my Bandcamp and making a comment. Good record, but where's my vinyl? Like people doing that, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we have some of those happen.
There's an email, man. Email.
Speaking of comments, the fucking culture.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Did we read them on?
Yeah,
the show?
we got like 3 in the last week.
Yo, shouts to you guys listening to the show, man. Fucking for real.
Big time. We asked.
What do you got? What do you got? What kind of comments?
Let me pull them up.
You gonna read them? Read them
let's see. Alaska is a quote cocksucking contrarian.
That's
asshole.
the one.
No,
Stop.
1 star.
CCA.
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought
hold on, let me pull them up.
Zilla is a loud mouth.
We only get 5-star reviews, man. That's the way it goes with us.
I mean, clearly.
So,
product.
So somebody named DD Sweets wrote, the best, hands down, the best hip hop podcast to ever podcast.
Wow.
The best there is, the best there was, and you know the rest. Much love.
You're the
Nice.
best there is. Psycho Les, you're the best there is.
That's a 5-star review.
Juju.
The homie Big R 3000.
Shasta, Big R.
Yeah.
He wrote the best hip hop podcast from a lifelong fan. It's the best hip hop podcast. 3 friends, dope artists who, at the end of the day, are super knowledgeable fans. There isn't an episode where I don't find something new about an old favorite or a new favorite.
Like The Substitute with Tom Barry.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, wait till we get to Snakes Out of Compton. I'm telling you.
New canon.
Finally, the Bedazzler.
That's my favorite C-list Spider-Man villain.
You know, and it's spelled like the B, like BEE, so it's like a bedazzled bee.
Okay, all right.
Coming at you.
Go for it.
I'll give these guys credit. All 3 of them know hip hop. Although I don't always agree with their opinions, I respect their perspective. I expected that they would know a lot about underground hip hop, but I'm surprised at how much they know about mainstream hip hop as well. Great listen. So,
when they say they don't agree with
credit.
When they say they don't agree with their opinions, they just mean Alaska. They're like, can't stand this fucking guy.
Me too.
Is Big R the dude on Twitter that's from Houston?
And SD.
Yeah.
No, that's
okay.
Well, it says Big R and
R.
SD, but he's one of our main patrons.
Okay, I like to give him a shout because he's got insightful takes on the Rockets, which is hard to get these days.
Oof. Yeah, he does spray it.
So
out
I'm
there.
like, I don't always like it, but I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, you guys, Kevin Porter Jr., what are we doing down there?
He was big on the Oladipo wave, and I had him in fantasy, so I was riding with it.
Okay, yeah, we'll spare the non-basketball listeners, but shout out to Big R's Houston takes. I filed them away for future usage.
big Houston takes. All right, well, I don't think we had anything more to share with the peeps. Steel's Kitchen.
Appreciate you guys as always.
Appreciate you. Great work, Prem. As always.
Thank you. And
yes, and if anybody wants to know what I mean or what I'm referencing when I'm talking about definitive work, this is PremRock's definitive work.
Factual.
Send all questions, queries, and inquiries to that record, and there you will find the answers.
It's a really cool feeling to hear and see all these people. This is like their first exposure to me. When you do it as long as I've done it, it's cool. To break through in this way and have people I didn't think would ever kind of really check be up on it. It's dope. So
fuck yeah.
And shouts to you guys, 101 episodes. Yeah, the first episode, I listened to your first episode, like, when did that come out? What year? 17?
17. No.
18? No, I had 19.
19? Yeah, probably 19.
I was in like Germany on tour and I was like, but it's funny because like podcasts for some reason sound like as long as the audio is good, but it sounds like a more official version of your friends. And you're like,
right. Yes.
Oh man, they're really doing this thing. And they're really doing it, and I was like, oh wow, the balance works out, like the concept, and now you're at 101. So pat yourselves in the back, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, brother.
A long way.
Could have folded up the tent, moved to another town like Joel Osteen, and sold your peddled your wares elsewhere.
Yeah,
Prem,
we did lock the doors to the culture megachurch.
Yeah, you've been going a long time. I don't shine shoes no more. You've been going a while.
You've been going a while. I know they didn't go up there and tell you. We don't shine shoes.
The Patreon's locked. Everyone goes back. Well, it's $2 more now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, about to raise them prices after.
Yeah, we're charging $10 for water.
No, actually, the Patreon's the only thing that doesn't apply to price going up. We have not. Price is actually going down. Brick going up.
Yeah. After watching The Substitute, I was like, we should be paid more per month.
That thing is.
The amount of time I cut a cash row just being like, what are we doing? Why just kind of skip ahead, Alaska? What the fuck?
And how many
world building is what they call it.
Yeah. There's 4 Substitute movies. We gotta watch all of them now.
No, we do not. We don't have to do none of that.
We're gonna watch this, Only the Strong. We gotta watch Only the Strong.
No, we're gonna watch The Principal.
We'll watch that with Jim.
And then we're gonna watch the one with the robots. You gotta watch that.
I think it's a Class of 1999. Is it that joint?
Yeah, that one. That's the original
one, Class of 1999.
Yeah, robots. They be fucking the students up. Yo, they stop fucking.
I just love the fascination of like Hollywood studios like film distributors
Beating up
and
the
audiences
wayward
is like,
teenager.
I just want to see teenagers get fucked up by
Their
any means
comeuppance.
possible. I just,
Them
I'm
goddamn
dying
teen.
for
There
it.
was a lot of passive aggressive. Yeah, teenagers would get fucked up in these movies, yo. Getting beat up by the teachers. That's what The Faculty was about.
The Faculty.
Yeah. The Faculty. I was just thinking of that one.
Holy
Yo,
shit,
man.
Joe
Faculty are aliens, though.
A whole
Yeah,
new
they're
alien.
aliens.
Josh
And
Hartnett?
yeah, it's bad. I love that one. I love that movie.
Oh my
But that's bad.
God. All right.
Josh Hartnett's
That's a
last. Well, his
classic.
bad. His great hurrah until he came to Penny Dreadful. That
Oh
was
my
his
God.
last.
Hey,
piece
let's
until Penny
not
Dreadful.
forget about Halloween H2O.
Oof. And lucky number
What was it?
11.
What you talking about? That's
Has
that's
anyone
one
watched
of Busta Rhymes' fan.
anyone watch Quiet Place 2?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
I haven't watched Quiet Place 1 yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Something's wrong with you. He's a
The
hater.
first one's great.
It's pretty good.
No, I just haven't seen it.
No.
Good.
No, they're both.
I'm not
The
like
second one's
avoiding it. I
good.
just never saw it.
What's
Second one's good.
isn't it dude from The Office?
Yeah.
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 Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
No,
No,
not Chris Pratt.
Krasinski.
Sorry. Not
Jim,
Krasinski.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
What's it
fellas.
called?
Let's call it, hey?
Yeah. Let's call it culture. Call out culture. We'll be back
Oh my God,
Monday.
Zill's dying. Yo, Call Out
Yeah, I'm
Culture.
exhausted.
We are
I'm
here.
fucking dead.
You can follow us on Twitter at Call Out Cult Pod. You can follow us on Instagram. It's full Call Out Culture, right?
Yeah, Call
Oh,
Culture
yes.
Pod.
Call Out Culture podcast. And like we ask, go to iTunes, leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
And we're on YouTube too. We're all over the place.
Don't be like, where's my vinyl either.
And
Love the pod.
come
Where's my vital?
if you can. If
Do
you're
you
in
remember
New York,
episode 101? I want that vinyl.
at Kingsland, 8 p.m. on the 23rd, come out. We're doing the Low Baron Crow's Feet release.
Yes. If you're in the New York area, say what's up.
We got the Steel's Kitchen CDs in hand, so we'll have those at the show. Shout out to all the people that bought a Role Players t-shirt.
You look good.
Long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, it looks fire.
Limited. Maybe we'll bring it back. Y'all let me know. But it did well. So shout out to them. And our Patreon subscribers, we love y'all. We know y'all love us back.
I know Max is
I'll let
coming.
y'all
I
see.
know Max is coming through the show.
Oh, shouts to Max. I want to kick with Max.
Big time.
Yeah.
Solid dude.
Doesn't drink,
All
so
right.
don't buy him a drink. All right.
All right, well.
All
you can
our
find me
call
a
out
drink.
cultists, keep it cult.
Just Max.
All our call out
Cultists?
Call out cultists, keep it culty.
Keep it culty. That's the next
Like
ad.
McNulty.
Keep it culty like McDonald's.
Like McNulty.
I'm
what did
fine
I
with
do?
that. That's kind of cool.
All right, y'all.
Happy.
I know.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, guys.